Good afternoon. My name is Robert Malloy. I'm the board chair of Keeping Veterans Fit Incorporated, nonprofit organization based here out of Atlanta, Georgia. So I wanted to talk to you guys as brief as possible, but I did want to mention about the board and the commitment to sustainability with the vocational rehab program for veterans. Our board is comprised of veterans, family members of veterans alike, respectively. And we had a board meeting today, and they're very supportive of this program of not only sustainability fashion, clothing, but also an opportunity to have a vocational rehabilitation program for our veterans. As we know, especially during these times, it's just a big challenge in being able to still have jobs, to still have some type of employment, to still have some type of income that is realistically sustainable, and also to be able to acquire different skills outside of the traditional other outlets. And so this is something that's a bit different, but it is a niche, and we're very, very excited about it. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I don't miss anything that I have here. But the program is sustainable itself because once we have the funding to not only start the Voc Rehab program, but now it's a production of real products, real consumable products that now better than ever is a great opportunity to be able to offer to the world, and it'll be very impactful. Timing couldn't be any better right now. I want to talk to you a little bit about the brands and what inspired us to design and produce sustainability. The CEO Wear collection for men and women was created mainly because you have to think about when individuals were in the service, right? When they were active duty. You have sergeants, you have captains, you have corporals, you have, majors, just different positions. And these were positions of leadership. These are positions of leadership. So it actually brings things back to the fold of who we are as servicemen, servicewomen, serving our country. It puts that leadership back. It puts that prestige back into. It empowers our veterans and the family members as well that we're able to support, for so many years, and the sacrifice as well. So this actually gives back not only the skill set for individuals, but also a product that they can be proud of, product that contributes to the sustainability of the earth, and it also participates in our environment. And these things are very, very important right now, and there has to be a way to do it, right? You have to figure out a way to do it. And this is one of the ways that we're so proud that we've been able to create, and we're looking forward to. Let's see. Let's talk about our involvement of the brands and how we support sustainable fashion or a sustainable mission or vocational rehabilitation mission and how the board members will be involved, um, with this program, and also to also recognize and identify fast fashion, what fast fashion is, and what our goals are to address that. So for me personally, while I serve on the board, I'm also a model. Believe it or not, I have the opportunity to be a model, and so I don't necessarily get a chance to handpick all of the products that I'm modeling. So just to be transparent with that, it's it's a professional job for me. So I do perform that job. So I don't get the chance to choose that. Um, and not and promote the product itself, but it's more so of being able to wear those products, and those various companies, they pretty much will be support promoting themselves versus me. So that is the job of a model, is to make sure that the products look like they're supposed to look. So that being said, this is even a bigger opportunity, and it's a game changer. It's a life changing opportunity to be able to support and promote sustainable fashion, and that's something that I'll be doing on all my platforms that I have. It's something that I will be proud to promote, and it's also a transition. It's a transition, so it's almost like maybe a bad analogy, maybe not, but someone who is transitioning into becoming a vegetarian or becoming a vegan. You definitely have to prepare for that lifestyle, and you want to make sure that you are well equipped for that lifestyle so that you can be very consistent, you can be effective, and you can truly gain the experience and of the transition. So that's the game plan here. Obviously, sustainable fashion, contributing to saving our environment, is paramount. But it also takes resources to be able to facilitate that. So this is definitely an opportunity for us to express how important it is, and it's extremely important. Not only individually but collectively. This is something that we know is literally game changing, life changing, just to have it available to consumers. And so we look forward to that. I am featured. I'll be featured in the fall collection, but there'll be other male and female veterans featured in the future. Obviously, stringent budget, tight budget, just using the resources that we have. I just, so happen to be able to donate my professional skills and services to be the model for the fall collection. But definitely stay tuned to the spring collection and everything else that we have going on. Let's talk about what we would define sustainable or slow fashion for our business. Okay, excuse me for a second. So slow fashion is actually a movement where you're designing clothing or you're creating clothing, but the garments are not hugely mass produced and just trying to hurry up and get to the consumer, but it's something that is high quality, environmental safe, environmental friendly, or at least eco friendly, eco aware. But the way that it's created is definitely created in such a way to where we'll be able to take pride in it. It'll also be right here in the U.S., which is also important. And the goal is to also have veterans in this industry and picking up this trade, picking up this training and skills to be able to do that. So it's something that they'll be able to be proud of, and a sense of still serving their country. To be able to provide things that are safer, things that are higher quality, and things that, again, they can be very proud of that they've been a part of, for sure. As a nonprofit organization, we can't afford to waste anything. We can't afford to waste anything. Everything is pre-calculated. Everything is budgeted to the T. So it'll be an opportunity to where, we'll be able to ensure that, for us, we're not wasting anything, and that's the goal. All right. So what we're creating is what we're going to be delivering. And also, as I mentioned before, we'll be able to have wages for our veterans. So we'll be stimulating not only the economy, but the community, also bringing up the morale, especially right now, bringing up the morale of people just trying to earn income to feed their family and just survive right now. The morale, an influx of income for our veterans, because we have a variety of veterans. We have disabled veterans, just all walks of life. And so it would be extremely important for us to be able to facilitate that and have that type of impact, especially in our communities, especially, right now with how things have been in the last 8 months. So extremely impactful. I also want to talk about what drives us to design and produce sustainability. So outside of being good for our environment, we needed to look at how we can contribute, not only within our communities, but how we can contribute with our veterans households, even contributing with our VA. Being able to have something that could not only help individually, but we're talking about also making an impact on households. Having mothers and father veterans back in the workforce, earning income, not trying to figure out day to day on, how are you going to keep the lights on, or how are you going to buy food and groceries for your family when the next meal is coming, but being able to provide, even down to the kids, even down to the children, because the children are impacted as well, and have been impacted. And so this is something that, number one, starts from home and builds abroad. So we're excited about that as well. Also, we definitely want to make sure that we understand that when we talk about keeping veterans fit, we're not only talking about physical health, right? We're also talking about mental health. We're also talking about social health, financial health, and these things are all a part of what's needed, respectively, but collectively. And so this will be impactful all the way around. And so that's why we're so excited and ready to go. All right, I want to talk about the trends that we've noticed in sustainable fashion. Well, actually, before we do that, if we can address with the current risk of fast fashion, and I'll go into that. What are we doing? What am I doing? What are my constituents doing? Our brand is doing to further, your sustainability initiatives. And so, right now our focus is to get fashion vocational rehab program funded, right? And once we can do that, we can get participants enrolled right away. We can start getting folks involved in the process, getting skill sets. We don't know what creative or what creativity and flexibility we'll be able to have once we get veterans back in the workforce, once we get them back into a learning mode, once we get them, out of the house worrying about, what's going on TV all the time, or, just anticipating bad news, or just something that's unfavorable. The possibilities are endless on what we're doing. And we've picked a genre, we picked an industry that everybody needs. Everybody needs clothes, right? Not only does everybody need clothes, but they want fashionable clothes, right? That's what the world is about. The world is about fashion. The world is about style. Also, if we can add, which we're doing, if we can add that these clothing is sustainable, and it's an education process. This is something that took time, took craftsmanship to create. It was created by veterans, so people that have served this country, even out in the field, are now continuing to serve the country, even now in the workforce, in the civilian workforce. That is huge. I think that it'll be very welcomed in all communities, all outlets, and appreciated at this time. People will pay what they see value in. So we're not concerned about people seeing the value in it. It's just making sure that everybody is exposed to the program, get the vets involved, get the vets trained, and also making sure that they are able to let their family know, their friends know what they're a part of. It's monumental. It's life-changing, so they'll be proud of what they're doing and what they have done and accomplished. They want to share it with everyone, and everyone that is exposed to it, everyone that has that's privy to it, is going to want to share it with other people, because it's something that we need globally. Now, the question that I also wanted to address is just kind of talks about the trends and what we've noticed within sustainable fashion. I have a few notes here that I'm just going to read directly. And many people want sustainably made clothes in ethical working conditions, but they also want cheap prices, right? You want good quality clothes, but you don't want to pay a lot of money for it, right? You want to support different movements, within animals and within certain ingredients and things like that. But at the same time, you want those prices to look a certain way, right? Or you'll only get certain pieces, and then you'll mix and match with your fast fashion and your sustainability. And that's not the goal. The goal is to transition to sustainability clothing. So, with that being said, cotton is organic. I mean, 30% of it is more expensive than stuff covered in the pesticides. The decision to buy sustainability clothes really, it'll hit the pockets, right? So we have to find a way to not only be cost effective with it, but we also have to find a way to make sure that our folks are educated, so that if they're going to invest in clothing anyway. So why don't we invest in something that we know is good and better for the environment, something that is better for you all around, and then it looks cool, right? It looks cool. You like it. It's very fashionable, great styles, and so you're not compromising on any level of ensuring that you're getting what you want and how you want it. Some consumers are devotees of the green message, right? So they'll put the style first with the sustainability, as a pleasant addition. So in other words, you don't have to compromise with great looking clothing. It's also good for the environment. It's sustainable fashion, and then the prices are very, very comparable to what you would pay for high quality apparel, clothing. So this is something that we know at that we know that CEO wear, again, which is the flagship flagship product of the sustainable fashion, is the CEO wear. You know, we're all CEOs of our own lives, right? So regardless of what's going on, what our positions are, in our workplace, we're CEOs of our life, right? And so it's a CEO wear, and we'll be able to merge all of those things together: great fashion, sustainability, um, environmental friendly, and it looks good, and you feel good about it, right? You feel good about it. You feel like you're supporting your country, right? You're serving your country. And then to top it all off, having veterans in the program actually creating these products, man, it's a proud. It'll be a proud moment indeed. All right. So just the purchase of CEO wear will be a fundraiser within itself, right? And then we were able to talk about how the proceeds go back to um, vocational rehab for our veterans, and so it's a beautiful cycle that we're proud to move forward on. All right, so I also want to talk about what changes do we think it'll take to raise awareness for sustainability and change consumers' attitudes about fast fashion? And do we think a supply chain awareness and sites um, like is that a good idea? Basically. And so, many consumers don't know about the fashion industry. The average person doesn't know about the fashion industry. They don't know where it comes from unless they're looking at the label, right? And really they're just looking to see if it's 100% cotton, if it's polyester, if it's rayon, if it's something that they're allergic to, that type of thing. And then, of course, to see where it's made of. Is it in China, Taiwan, Hong Kong? Is it made in the good old USA? Those are things that they're going to look at. But when it comes to fashion, when it comes to actual fashion and fashion industry, where things come from, what are the costs, and how those costs relate to the consumer on that end of the spectrum. They don't have knowledge of that, right? So this is an opportunity to basically educate, first and foremost, to be able to educate and empower the consumer, right? We're empowering the consumer to make more conscious decisions of what they're doing, right? And it's not always led by um, money, right? It's not the money is not the lead, because people will again pay for what they feel holds value. But once you educate them and you allow them to make educated options, educated choices, then again we're empowering the community, we're empowering our consumer. Let's see. So consumers don't know about the fashion industry, but it's the second largest cause of pollution in our country. It is, and unless you were in that field, you wouldn't have known that. And who would tell you that? Who would tell you that? Not many people, right? So, and if they do have to tell you, they have to tell you why, and more importantly, they have to tell you what are we or what can we do about it. So again, this is an opportunity for education. This is also an opportunity to empower, and this is a beautiful opportunity to make a huge difference. Right? There's no small steps in this process. Everything is huge. Okay, so for this, I mean, it's organizational leadership across the world will have to be. They'll show their employees by example. While sustainable fashion is important, the supply chain awareness is a start, right? But our country does do something. Um, they don't do anything unless they see that there's a need for it. So we're addressing it, we're identifying it, and we're addressing it right away. All right. And those companies that we mentioned, they'll invest more time, more money on the market, on marketing their products or brand as green rather than actually doing the hard work to ensure that the sustainables are actually greenwashing. And that's basically doing what you said that they're going to do. If they're made from these products 100%, then it needs to be 100% of those products. If it's not, then you need to address that and let people know, hey, this is not 100% green. It's not. It's 10% this, it's 5% that, right? So you have to be very truthful in that. You have to be very transparent. So we have an opportunity to not only change the game, but make an impact, a moral impact, a conscious impact, just an overall effective economical impact as well. And we need that right now. We need that. People are just popping up with different clothing brands and not knowing. And, people are purchasing according to their budget. And then some people are just purchasing because they like a certain thing and have no clue of the effects of it. And so this is education with participation. We would also suggest that the consumers get to know the brands that they're supporting. We also understand that they need to understand the brand's mission, so you'll understand, if they're really about what they're speaking, and that's if you're standing alongside something, you want to be able to stand firm and steadfast in your decision. So that's something that'll definitely be an honor and a lot of respect, respect as an organization, as a brand. It also shows integrity. All right. I want to talk about something that I wish people knew about sustainable fashion that they don't. Sustainable fashion is not cheap. Okay, so it's not cheap material. These things are. It takes a process, right? It takes a process to create sustainable fashion. You have to thoroughly go over your fabric, your materials, and things like that, and to make sure that everything is exactly what it says that it is. If it's a bamboo turtleneck, if it's a bamboo material jacket or socks or something like that, then it needs to truly be a 100% bamboo turtleneck. So integrity is going to be key. So, the raw materials are clearly more expensive but the quality is high quality. And people know what high quality is because you hold on to those things. You can have a sweater that you've had for years and years and years, but it's high quality, so you're gonna keep it versus a shirt that's fading, it's got holes in it and things like that. Now, next thing you know, you're using it to wipe your tires on outside in your car, or clean your rims. All right. Now, I also want to talk about some changes that we think companies can implement to be more sustainable and ethical. My grandmother used to say, "Mind the business that pays me, or I pay for it." So, if companies focus on how much they're spending in manufacturing in the future, they'll basically see the value of implementing sustainability. Right? You definitely have to have an investment, a real deal investment, some skin in the game to really understand what you're doing. So you have to be, number one, open, optimistic. You also have to look at the hardcore facts. Like, what is this going to do short term? What is this going to do long term? If you continue to do what you're doing, how will that affect us in the long term? If you change things, how will that affect you in the long term and the short term? Are you willing to stand behind your products 100% of the time, right? Or you're gonna have to just go with the fad and trend, or compete when everybody else starts wisening up and start using sustainable fashion because it's the right thing to do right now for our environment globally. So, I also want to talk about the primary purpose, for our company providing a vocational rehab program. So, again, keeping veterans fit. Um, we know that service members, veterans, their family members, they're focused with the daunting task of securing and maintaining a career in living wage. I mean, let's just think about this. I mean, through the pandemic, through COVID, through this entire experience, a lot of people are having to start over, right? And they may have been at the brink of burnout of what they was already doing, or they want to have a new skill, or they can't perform like they were able to perform before. So this is an opportunity to create a stimulus, right? An economical stimulus in various communities, and it's something that is a greater good, and it's also something that we actually need. It's happening regardless if we get involved or not. It's going to happen around us already. It's happening already. So we want to be ahead of the curve. We want to be in front of this. We want to not only be a powerhouse in the game, but we also want to understand that it's a multi-purpose mission, right? It's about people before it's about anything, right? People's health, mental health, people's financial situation, people's morale right now, and just people being in a better state right now, and that's paramount for us right now, especially as veterans. And all the things that we experience on a regular basis, even now as veterans that are no longer active duty or reserve. So we need it, and it's a no better time to do things and to make things happen. Um, we know and we understand that folks need to make income, but we also understand and know that we need to go green, like for real, like seriously. We need to go green, and so that's key. So the thing about it is how do we do it? Where do we start? Where do we go? Where do we learn? How do we get the education for that? And that's where Keeping Veterans Fit Incorporated comes in, and we step in proudly with veterans, with family members of veterans, so we know and we understand where people are literally in the trenches, or even in the field. We understand those things, and so we're able to empower. We're able to have a strong message of the importance of not only where sustainable fashion is going, and it has come, but also stability. We want to restabilize our households, with the morale, finances, even physically. Just all these things are intertwined, and so we have the opportunity to do that with this program of CEO Wear. So we're excited about that. Obviously, right? Um, so we also understand that going green in fashion has been more of a niche trend, right? And in the past it has increased because mainstream, in recent history, um, is trending, right? It's all about what's happening now, what's going on now, and who can get to it first and who can outdo all this and that. But this year, if we increase the mission and awareness, that's a good thing. That's a good snowball effect. And so again, we want to be on the cutting edge. We want to be in the forefront of this, and then that way we can set the stage, because we'll set the stage with integrity, um, trust, loyalty, and discipline to continue to provide high quality products. And also, in our research before launching this program, we found that sustainable apparel, it can definitely reward manufacturers as well, from a pricing perspective, because once you get in it, then you can kind of find out how you can, get your profits, to find out, the best supply, the best supply. You're not just making products just to have a bunch of variety, but you're very intentional in the products that you make and allowing people an option to convert over to sustainability fashion. Okay. Also, I just want to make sure that I mention that it's good for the environment and good for business. Which means a vocational rehab program can be funded after the initial grant. And I want to talk about that specifically because um, it's it's our reality. It's our reality. If we have the funding to do it, if we have the capital to do it, we would have already done it, right? We would have launched it. We would have already done it. We would have been looking for different partnerships on how we can make this work, how we can make this work globally. But it's going to take funds. We're not making T-shirts, we're not making hats, to sell with flags on it, or with some lettering on there that anybody can do from home if you have a screen print, right, or a hot press. So we're actually talking about high quality products here, and so that's the goal. That's the entire goal, to have high quality products, bring awareness of where this is coming from and the importance of it, and how it can affect our environment now and in the future, and empower our veterans. Build these communities. Get back to making sure that those households are sufficient. That men can be men, women can be women. And naturally again, and just kind of bringing back some stability in all aspects into the households. It's so key right now. It's a game changer. Um, the fashion vocational rehab program is one way that Keeping Veterans Fit can provide services to eligible service members and veterans with service connected disabilities to help them prepare for, obtain and to maintain suitable employment, or achieve independence in daily living. Like I said, we have to get these households strong again, and it's obviously going to take mental, right? So this not only gives individuals hope, but it actually is something tangible that can actually happen in the household and help immediately, make an impact immediately. So that's why it's so crucial right now. The second phase of our program, that I want to make sure that I mention. All right. Let's see. The second phase I want to talk about is opening manufacturing centers that will manufacture the luxury sustainable collection, which is the CEO wear. Now, why is it luxury? Well, sustainable fashion is high quality. So high quality and luxury goes hand in hand, right? So you have to add the value in there, and you have to think about, why would people want to buy this? Well, why would a person want a European belt, European style suit? Because they know that it's high quality. They also know that the material of it is going to last for some time, versus something that they got at a lower end wholesale situation, right? So this brings not only high quality, but it also brings luxury and something to be very proud of, not only to purchase, not only to support, but to know what you're doing and what you're contributing globally in your environment, what you're contributing supporting veterans, and you're looking good doing it. You know, you don't have to compromise on quality, price, and just knowledge of what you're doing is making a difference, right? And it's all natural. You know, there's no hype. It's exactly what it is, and we're excited about it. We're proud of it. We know that others will. Our consumers, our veterans, and everyone involved in the entire process. So again, you know that is our second phase is to get manufacturing centers for both men and women, and also manufacturing clothing made out of recycled clothing donations. So now we're talking about repurposing recycled donations. Again, contributing to Mother Earth, doing our part, but also putting things in perspective as of, you know, what we're able to do with the technology, what we're able to do with the opportunity. So we have to take advantage of all those things and bring awareness so people understand that what they may think is way bigger than that. They're contributing way bigger than they imagine. So the recycled clothing donations, you know, being repurposed, there'll be products for with all price points now. Our fashion vocational rehab program graduates they'll have the skills to work in many positions that are available in sustainable fashion industry. So we're talking about not only getting our service members, our veterans, a skill set, but something that they can continue to do and continue to build on, right? So we have to think about progression, right? So in order to have a new group to succeed, we have to have this initial group or groups prior that are successful and they can move forward. They can be innovators of the industry. They can create other opportunities as well for more veterans, for the industry in general, and be impactful from not only what you've learned, but now what you've been able to cultivate, add your new knowledge or add your innovation to, and contribute to the entire movement and the entire mission. So, you know, products will be at all different price points. At the same time, you know, the graduates will now have the skills that they'll be able to move forward, they'll be able to move on, right? And of course, having the opportunity to contribute to something they've been a part in. Almost like is it alma mater, right? Alma mater. So last thing that I want to talk about is the obstacles that we face through the journey, you know, of our brand overall, especially this journey of sustainable fashion. And the biggest challenge we face is securing funding. You know, you have to make money. So you have to understand that our mission is about the people, right? So there's immediate needs. People need to eat. People need lights. People need shelter. They need resources. They need to get their medical health care, right? So those are things that we've addressed early on in our organization. And so we wanted to be a little bit more innovative and also be able to capture what can we use to contribute across the board, right? So with our people first, with our veterans first, right? And then allowing them, empowering them to be able to expand what's going on in their family, household. And then, of course, building the community. And then as we build this community, we bring global awareness. And so, you know, we're trying to replicate this thing here over and over and over and over again. But we have to get started somewhere, and we have to get through the process of finding out what the entire process is going to be. You know, not just trial and error, but what can we do to be more innovative, to be more effective, and to make sure that what we're doing now is literally sustainable, right? Literally sustainable, and we can grow moving forward. So that would be the biggest challenge, that I would say. We need the funds, so we have to get to phase 2 at some point, right? But if we don't get to phase 1, if we can't create the program, if we can't start producing, then we can't get to the manufacturing outlet, to the manufacturing options, so that we can distribute and contribute from the community abroad. Last thing that I want to mention, and again, I thank you for your time. This has been very interesting to do things this way. I would love to meet you guys face to face or even live, but I wanted to definitely be effective and timely, and make sure that nothing was missed that we wanted to express with this opportunity. So finally, I want to go over a 5, 10, 15-year projection plan for fashion vocational rehab or rehabilitation. So at this point, now we're talking about the people, right? Now we're talking about growth, internal growth, external growth. We're just talking about really making this thing legit, making it legitimizing and making it huge. I mean, and who knows how large it's going to get, but we want to make sure that we have the proper structure and that we're moving forward the right way. So that being said, in 5 years, we're keeping veterans fit. Our goal is to have about 125 service members comprised of veterans and other at-risk individuals. And this will be the first manufacturing center with the employees of about 125 employees in a manufacturing center. So that's our goal for the first 5 years. Now, can we get it done in 2 years? Most likely, right? Can we get it done in 3.5 years? Yeah, most definitely. But we're in unpredictable times, right? So we want to make sure that we under promise and over deliver. Um, 10 years, we're looking at quadrupling that. So we're looking at 500 individuals from the program. At this point, we'll have 2 manufacturing centers or hubs, if you will, to employ all the graduates. And of course, in 15 years, we want to double those numbers, right? We want to double those numbers to about 1,000 individuals of the program, and also double the manufacturing centers. So in about 15 years, we want a minimum. These are minimums of 4 manufacturing centers, 1,000 individual 1,000 individual employees comprised of our veterans and our veteran family members, and individuals that may be at risk. Getting these people employed, man, getting them a skill, bringing pride and honor, and bringing the morale up, having people proud again, smile again, have hope. These are things that are so key, so important right now that people can take it. They can take it for granted. They can look back 2 years ago and, hey, I had a nice house, I had cars, and I took vacations and things like that. And who knows, 6 months later, a year later, you find yourself not only living paycheck to paycheck, but maybe not having a paycheck, having to exhaust all of your savings, having to exhaust all of your resources, having to call people to, ask for assistance, being on assistance for the first time. This is real. This is real. So our goal, and it will happen, our goal is to not only empower individuals, but to put a legacy together, put something legendary together, that it's not only affecting us and that we are so cool and came up with these concepts and this game plan, but something that other people want to model, and even if it's not sustainable fashion, It could be something else that can definitely be effective, something else that can also help other people and add value to individuals, because that's where we're at now. We have to put ourselves in position to add value, right? We have to have value in what we do, what we're a part of, what we're affiliated with, what we show, what we showcase. It has to be valuable, not only how we feel about it, but how others would feel about it, and that they see that, hey, you know what? This is a great idea. This is something I can stand behind and support and grow with. And so that's where things are. So I want to thank you guys for your time. Again, my name is Robert Malloy. I am proud to say that I'm a part of Keeping Veterans Fit Incorporation. And so I look forward to the partnership. I look forward for an opportunity to get your feedback. I look forward to just being able to contribute in any part that I can serve in my lifetime and in my community, and what I can do for my fellow American, what I can do for my extended family, and what I can do to build a legacy that will outlast me and definitely transcend even while I'm not here. And so that's the mission, that's the goal, that's what we will do, and we look forward to you being a major part of this life-changing experience, game-changing, global, just a global blessing, if you will. So I want to thank you guys again. Robert Malloy, I'm the chair, KVF, Keeping Veterans Fit Incorporated. Thank you guys, and God bless America. Take care.